Hey yo, what is up everyone? This is Sid's Foodcast, the food podcast where me and my guests talk about food, our love for food, and everything in the name of food. This is your host Sid, and welcome to the show. For today's episode, we have Sherwin Dean from the Good Cup Coffee Company, where we talk about what makes a good cup, finding your good coffee, and what it means to be a barista. I hope you enjoy this episode. I always have a separate recording for the intro, so it's okay. What? It's already 11 by, and you're about to, I guess, get some lunch. But it's your free day. You get to relax. What do you do, man? As a coffee. I would as a person who makes coffee connoisseur in a way. Or but I know you are a barista. Is
Yeah,
that the title? The correct title?
yeah, barista or a brewer,
Barista. A brewer. A brewer.
more general term.
A brewer. What does a brewer like you do on a day off?
Um, like after a week of during day offs, I only brew coffees on day offs because it gives me a lot of time to drink and um do some chilling like that.
Mm.
And then the morning starts with coffee, technically, basically, and then from there I I slack the day off and just
Relax lang, chill lang.
uh, take
Oh.
all the time that I need the rest with coffee.
Oh. Are you those people that even if it's your day off, you still think about coffee and then think about like creating something like
Yeah,
one? Or do you want? You do.
yeah, because when in coffee, um, I try to learn new things and
Mm-hmm.
just drinking coffee and watching other inspirations for my job. It's part of my routine already. Like even on day offs, I usually work sometimes, or when a day pops up, I immediately jot it down or make an edit about it so that it won't, so the idea won't die out immediately.
That's awesome, man. Like jotting things down right away. Pag na no? It's that's also applicable to writing, and even with me, with my poetry.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes like, wala, makalimot mo. If you don't write it down, like if it's on top of your head, like, oh, this sounds
Uh,
really good, write it down. Wala, but sometimes it also happens like, oh, I think, mata ka, like in the middle of the night, like, oh, I found something. So, mo.
yeah, that
May-
happens too. Like
Oh.
when we're about to sleep, like browsing Instagram.
Mm-mm.
Just right before I doze off,
Mm-mm.
I browse some things, then put it in my notes, and the morning after I'll try to work on it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally, it speaks volumes for your dedication. But sometimes I also had some instances to do that one when I write something, oh, in the middle of the night, I have some sort of idea, and then when I wake up, oh, this idea is a piece of shit. It's like, what? I thought about it like, oh, I thought this was like very innovative. This is really unique. And when I wake up in the morning, and then like, oh, like you have this concentration going on, like, oh, it's pretty bad. But that only happens sometimes. But for people who are listening, when we're talking about things like this, when we're talking about coffee and brewing, it's because I have in the midst of this interview a coffee brewer, who's working with Good Coffee Cup Company. Did I say it right? Good
Good cup
coffee.
coffee.
A good cup coffee. Yeah. Why don't you introduce yourself, man, to the people who are listening?
Hi, I'm Dean. I'm currently working as the marketing head of the Good Cup Coffee Company. And on my rest days, I do home brewing.
That speaks again, like speaks volumes of the dedication. When I think of that, I think of, I don't know, sa ako lang sa top of my head, I think of the documentary Jiro. Do you know the documentary Jiro, the something sushi?
Uh, I haven't.
Jiro is like a very, very like an amazing chef, but sorry, amazing sushi chef, but what sets him apart is his dedication to the craft in his own manner, with repetition
Mhm.
of of just doing the same thing over and over again. And medyo na siya ikuan ba kanang uh there's a there's a big difference with how people think right now. When we think of doing an idea, like making a dish, making a cup of coffee, and then um basically just innovating, changing
Yeah,
it, finding new ways to be better, finding like great um like like great leaps of 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 redefining what it is, whether it's like
yeah, yeah,
a skill or a dish or again like a cup of coffee. See, I'm a
yeah.
good one. Yeah,
So basically,
is
the in coffee, Manggod, coffee comes from different parts of the world,
mm-hmm,
and every country has different natural characteristics. Like
mm-hmm,
coffees from Ethiopia, they tend to be floral and
mm-hmm.
tea-like. The coffees from Brazil are known to be rich, chocolatey, and bold taste. So yeah, coffee is exciting because you have to brew it a countless times until you get the right flavor or the right flavor profile for it. So
Right.
it's all
And
about experimenting with every brew that you make.
yeah, and the motto like that is contrary, I believe, to what Jiro thinks. Naya was, you do one thing, like you making sushi, and he just does it a million times. Like he doesn't change anything. Like you perfect
Yeah.
ang iyang kuha. Nagito usa dito like he just makes rice.
Mm,
Well, as in like doing the same steps. Like he just this make rice for like years
yeah.
ago. So like see I think makes the
Perfecting his
rice.
craft.
Oh, like
Yeah.
as in repetition na jud. I'm not saying like that he's like innovating because he's just repeating what he's doing every day, like monotonous jud siya ba. But I think kanang when you think of someone who's like probably with how I think, no, like oh, you're being stagnant, you're being
Yeah.
one, you're being wala lang, tanto diya na lang ka like make na kag rice, like or mag-make na kag sushi the same way, you're not gonna elevate it. But yeah, I'm good like I don't know, just like honing it to the point like you're like kuha na lang second, kuha na lang siya, but like you don't need to
Or
think about it,
yeah, it becomes
automatic na
muscle
siya.
memory now.
Ana na lang ba? Like that makes it beautiful or that makes it better. It's not really changing an ingredient or changing a technique. I'm not sure if this is just applies to sushi lang. But yeah,
Mm-mm.
okay, it's in same just like buhaton niya the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And
But with then with coffee, it's very opposite because in coffee, my god, once it's roasted, it starts to release carbon dioxide. Or when you roast, when you cook coffee, there will be a build up inside. So
mhm,
it takes days before it releases all the carbon dioxide. And that's when you can brew um, the good um, um, the good flavors. So basically, it takes 2 to 3 weeks before it's good to brew with that coffee alone, and it varies from every coffee from different countries. So
man.
every day or every brew is a learning experience. So
Oh,
this for this week you brew with these parameters like grind size and the size. Next week it will be changed to another one, so you'll achieve a better brew.
oh man. That's that reminds me of a conversation with another coffee connoisseur. I don't know if you know Bea Chu. I had an interview with her. Bea Chu is not really a coffee brewer like you,
Mm,
but is a coffee fanatic. And I wanted to start our
mm,
conversation with that, with a person who does not really think of coffee. When I think of coffee as an art form or as something that's like really passionate about, I think of coffee as a necessity if ever I need to pull out an all nighter. That's
yeah,
about it. Like that's for me. And I want
yeah.
to know more about coffee. I don't know lang siguro why I'm not drawn to coffee as much. Like I have like some sort of understanding of coffee, of coffee culture and third wave coffee and the different types of coffee and all that. But I don't know. Siguro I still prefer my 3-in-1. I still prefer
Yeah,
my kwan. For some reason, nga na, and
yeah, yeah.
but I didn't like shy away to try different types. But siguro wala lang siguro like, oh, this is the
Like
coffee
just
for me.
push.
Wala pa ko nga na. Wala pa ko
Yeah.
okay, this is what I'm looking for. Wala pa ko nga na moment, and I want to have that moment.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this flat white from this coffee
Yeah, you
origin and
just need that
etc.
aha moment that you can
Yeah.
that will change your
Mhm.
perspective about coffee.
Yes, because when I drink coffee, I really really think that like I can't say the difference. Pa, as in like ano ba?
Yeah,
I
for
don't.
starters, it's like an acquired taste. You just
Mhm,
have to taste and taste and taste until it
mhm,
improve your palate or
mhm.
your experience with the coffee.
Yeah, and I want to learn it from a perspective of a brewer.
Mm.
But what I mentioned before with Bea, we usually discuss coffee culture, and we can talk about that later. Being a coffee snob, what is a coffee snob? Is it something to be proud of, or is it something as an issue? Um, and I understand like the different one. Why I wanted to talk about coffee culture now because again I don't really know much about coffee. That's why I want to talk to someone
Mm-mm.
who's really knowledgeable about it.
Not that I have a.
Yeah, well, knowledgeable. Well, compared to me, I don't know. Like, what do I know? Ka- ka- Arabica and something like that. I don't know, but um, now what I had was we have a huge coffee drinking population compared to tea drinking population. That's one thing that I learned from another podcast again with Gino. You guys can check it out. Again, when we think of coffee right now, maybe aqua lang for me, I think of third wave coffee
Mm-mm.
for some reason. Like the cold brew, the people who like who's like very snobby like like, like or people who are like really who are
Oh,
into coffee and then like oh like you need to know your coffee. Oh, you put milk in your coffee? Like how dare you? Like like nga na akong thinking. And the casual it boils down to three things. It's either the third wave snobby culture in a way like oh like you don't know where it comes from. Like the second one is the casual drinker, the Starbucks person, the Bose coffee person who knows that like oh coffee americano ka magkuan ka mag espresso shot ka like the casual tier tinga na and the another
yeah, yeah,
yeah and then another tier is the everyday drinkers
yeah,
the tatays na mag 3-in-1 or the tatays na barako.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm really intrigued with the Barako coffee because I think barako is ours. That's Filipino ba? When
Yeah.
may kag barako, oh, that's our own. That's, and I know we have coffee plantations that are really kanang kuan, like
Mm-mm.
world class, I believe. But and muna akong interest ko ba na I know we have great coffee sa, sa, I don't know, like sa Sagada and all other places, but I don't get to hear much about it. Why do I hear Ethiopian coffee from,
Oh,
why do
so
I hear like when I don't know, like again, like this is from the outside looking in. When I think of third wave culture coffee, I hear like Ethiopia, I hear like from distant parts of the world, but not necessarily like the coffee from Sagada. But again,
uh,
this is just me coming from the outside. But there's a lot to
so
unpack here, Yeah.
so
Hello?
basically the coffee still starting to grow, but I believe that it will be competing with the world's qualities now because with uh, with the rise of coffee drinkers and the coffee bean buyers like us, we, um, we talk to the farmers and we collaborate with them in which we we pay what way they should be like in order for them to help or improve their craft in coffee growing.
Hmm.
So I'm happy to see more and more local coffees that are entering the specialty coffee because in specialty coffee you just have there are a lot of parameters uh, to para imong bantayan ba na kanang
Hmm.
for arabica it should be in high places like we source our coffees in Mount Apo in Davao del Sur. So um it's basically that the it's still it's not that big but it's growing.
And how do you feel by now we have this rising coffee drinkers, is what you said. How do we properly educate them in a way that it's not like off-putting in a way?
Uh,
But before that, yeah, but before that, how do you feel about casual drinkers? Like, like I like my Starbucks.
so
You, as a brewer who's like a true,
I started as a barista at Bose.
hmm
So I stopped schooling uh, mid of my program.
hmm
Then I looked for jobs. Then the only thing that pops into my mind was coffee. So I applied to every commercial stores there is, from
hmm
Bose, Starbucks, Coffee Bean. So yeah, I was hired in Bose. So it's normal for me to hear about casual drinkers because I too was able to work in commercial coffee shops.
hmm
Um, One thing I've noticed to customers is they define their coffee as what I've said earlier. They uh, they drink it by necessity. They
hmm
want it strong. They want it to be bold flavor.
Para lang
So yeah,
makamata ka ba? Like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
because I have work to do, man. I have a project coming up.
They're pulling off an all nighter. So when I jumped into specialty coffee, everything was to me. So I was trained to dissect or the whenever a customer arrives to this dissect in which interest that we will lead him or him to her to. So example, they want they want something one thing first thing we'll ask is with hot or iced or with milk or black. So from there, we'll introduce what flavors do you want in your coffee, or what do you want to drink. So you want chocolatey or something bold to get you through the day or something like that. So basically, we don't discriminate or kind of stereotype those people, casual drinkers, because everything is has to start somewhere in which
Hmm.
it sparks a conversation or an interest in specialty coffee, because specialty coffee has been here in the Philippines, but it's not that how do you say this, not
Not
that
the prominent.
big. Yeah, yeah. So in our side, we educate or we give pointers to every customer. Is like, this is this and that, and if you want to drink it, you can have it this way. Or yeah, we and for our customers, we usually like to taste them a drink of specialty coffee in which they will like they will somehow love it too.
Mhm. And that's my problem with third wave culture now. Nah, I don't know. Whenever I I've been to places na kanang specialty coffee. You know,
Mm-mm.
I've been to one or two places, and I have an atmosphere, but like the atmosphere is like people are judging you with
Yeah.
how you order your coffee. For real, I'm not kidding. Ingana ba? Like, why are you here if you don't know your coffee? Like ingana, like I obviously the barista would do something else, but the people kanang naglingkod-lingkod and like
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
like they're there they talk and then like oh this the aroma you can have this like and this I don't know this aura of like
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
high class society that you kind of want to gatekeep again I'm generalizing because like kwan lang um
Yeah,
but this but I want to learn in a way
mm-mm.
but murag kwan but like it's kind of like intimidating to learn like where should I start and
So
that's when I saw, when I saw where you work, good coffee cup from the image, and again, this is me just looking
mm-mm.
at the logo, looking at how you guys do it. Um, I don't feel that way. Like, oh, like this is where like kanang like wala would judge sa ako ba like so three in one ra. Like you don't know like what kuan French press is like okay whenever like the names of these like third wave coffees are like I don't know like very very edgy in a way but when we hear of a good coffee cup
Good cup
again
coffee.
a good cup coffee sorry I'm messing it up good cup coffee it's kuan ba like it's something that like oh like it's it's nice there's a ring to it and then more like welcoming in a way
Mm-mm.
and then what I really liked about the aspect of what you guys again correct me if I'm wrong but my like education part of it
Yeah.
is I think you guys like would make like an academy of teaching Quran.
Before pandemic, we're opening our holding classes
Mhm.
for those who want to establish cafe and those who want to learn about home brewing.
Yes, and
So
Mona, that's the thing that I've really got drawn into it. Sadly, I'm not when I was in the Philippines, that was Manila. And I've been to like these coffee places that are like very dark, na vinyl diha, na barista na taas kay bungot, and then like one, and then they always just give you trays na pangan sa farmer and
uh,
all that and that's I don't have a problem with that I don't have a problem with that at all like you can be very edgy and all that but I don't know maybe it's just the people like maybe I don't know it was just me like or maybe it was
yeah,
me
some of the
people
shops in
from
Manila are
Manila.
very good, really worth staying for.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't get to visit them yet, but I'm looking forward to it after this pandemic. But yeah, that's what I always perceive. Getting comments from my friends. visiting coffee shop that it's very intimidating,
Mm.
especially the specialty ones.
Oh, ba? Ano
I
ba?
get the vibe.
Do
I
you
get it
understand what I'm
because
saying? Do you
yeah, yeah,
understand?
yeah. So
Yeah.
because I started like that before I applied to Good Cup, it's still scary for me because it's what if I screw up, or
Mhm,
what if I don't get it, or what if I don't get the acquired taste. So
mhm,
the only thing that keeps me going was to be open to possibilities like, this one is coffee for me, or this one's something new, or
mhm.
like that. So somehow the barista or the one in charge will always navigate you through what you so.
Mhm,
And I'm happy to say that Cebu community is is very engaging.
mhm,
It's the specialty coffee scene is growing, and the community is getting a bigger. And one thing's for sure, that the community within Cebu City are friends, and we always talk about coffee. That how can we improve this and that. And also
mhm,
for a start, you can join groups in Facebook. Like there's a dedicated group in Facebook at Cebu coffee home brewers, in which they always talk about coffee. That there are a lot of people there who are willing to help those who are starters. Because this pandemic, I have observed that people are in their houses. They're locked up there because due to lockdown
mhm.
protocols or safety protocols. So people now are more into home brewing. They buy equipment and they buy coffee. So that's what our company steps in. Like
Mhm.
from there, they buy coffee and equipment, and here on our side, we tend to help them from to how we brew it in the cafe, and we'll just share it to them and how they will brew it in their homes with their simple equipments. So basically, we're elevating our cafe experience to the online world.
Yeah. And you're
Yeah.
filling in the gap. There's a gap between like kuha na ka ng coffee culture, third wave coffee, and then you being knowing what to do, and then
Mm-mm.
casual drinkers. How
Yeah,
do
yeah.
we fill in the gap between
Like how you introduce
yeah,
them
yeah,
slowly
yeah? How do we
until
like
they jump the ship.
me being like one, like me being like the 3-in-1 like Bose coffee frappuccino kind of dude, to understanding the sensibilities of a true coffee connoisseur. Where how do we make that jump? And you guys are filling in the gap again. It's by educating it, and that makes it again. I'm not like kanang just saying good things because I know you, but the mission of educating and sharing secrets, quote unquote, to these people is what makes it a good brand, that makes it's like, oh no, this is just like secret lang ko ano dyan eh, like I know it's good, but we will not share this to you. But how do we, and only these like few people who could truly appreciate
Oh,
coffee deserve this kind of
we
coffee.
have recipes for every equipment, and
Mm,
also Gio recently shared his recipe when he competed last March 2020.
mhm,
So people are more engaged when they're able to talk to baristas online. Like how do I brew it? Like if they buy an expensive coffee, they don't want to screw it up, so they message us online to how to carefully brew it or like that.
mhm,
And also we had a promo box last uh, months ago that with this coffee you'll have to use this water and this kind of parameters, so you'll achieve it the way that we like you to achieve it, or like to how you enjoy it to the
mhm.
fullest.
And that's awesome, man. That's that aspect, and then not just the coffee itself. I'm pretty sure the coffee is
uh,
definitely good. I haven't tried it, but again, like the fact that you guys are filling in the gap of attracting new coffee drinkers,
Mm-mm.
and not necessarily like showing you, oh, we're better at you with
Yeah.
coffee, but drawing them in and
That's it.
letting them learn is such an amazing thing. you know Again, like a weird analogy, I just at the top of my head, I remember, like, I don't know if people, you guys are watching, like, um Food Wars or Shokugeki.
Yeah,
This is
Shokugeki.
the father of Erina believes that these this food, na ilang iserve, does not deserve dili
The
deserve ang mga
commoners.
tao, ang sa mga
Uh,
commoners, only
yeah.
for people who can
Or
truly
elite.
appreciate.
Yeah.
Oh, kay gayet sa ko, like, ako nag-inom og 3 in 1, unya moinom din kog kuan kanang something super, like, oh my god, like kuan kayo inom ko, I can't tell, like, I don't know, maybe siguro bati lang akong palate, but maybe like makaabot sa point na, mas nindot pa man 3 in 1 ani, murag unsa man ni, like, asang gatas, asang kuan, asang butang ka asukal. Hindi
So
masig.
the
Or like,
one.
what have you encountered that one? Like, kanang kuan ka brewer ka, like, grabe kay pag-make nimo ana, nindot jud kayo. Then pangutan-an kag, puwede mo asukal or kuhaan ng cream, kuhaan ng milk. Kasi like kuhaan na,
So we give them
ano ba?
options like if you if they don't like it that way, we can still provide it, but not the same experience. So we have to make it again, or on if it's not a bad it's a bad brew, so we make it again to let the customers enjoy. So the first drink that I had for specialty coffee was a latte. It's a latte of Brazil Cerrado, and I didn't expect it because to be that flavorful, because they told me that there was no sugar, but I don't put sugar in my coffee just before. So when I took a sip of it, I to be cliche, I fell in love with it. So um,
Found your coffee, you know?
yeah, from there I started to be more curious about what specialty coffee is because of that latte. The first latte I drank
You
in
guys,
specialty.
like, so try me. I don't have a coffee. I Whatever, I drink whatever. I like I like kanang iced coffee, kanang botella sa Starbucks.
Mm,
I like those. So,
mm-mm.
and I come into your coffee shop, how would you ask me, like, how would you, like, how would you know what coffee would I like? What are the questions? Like, imagine, like, oh, hey, what's
So
up, Dean? Like, I don't know what kind of coffee I would want. So can you recommend me something?
so um,
Someone ng kuwan.
first thing we'll ask if you like it. You want a hot coffee or a cold coffee? And from there,
Uh,
we'll break it down to you want the coffee with milk or just plain black.
Sige,
So if
I'll
it's
try right now. I'll try. Ako, I like to have iced.
so, do you want it have with milk or just plain black?
Um, I like almond milk.
Uh, well, for now, we
Makaguba
don't
man ang
have that.
makaguba man
Uh,
ang taste. Does that
na-
is not preferred?
there are milks that can affect the taste of the coffee,
Oh.
but we the last time we purchased milk alternative option was oat milk, and it's
Mhm.
really good.
Oh,
Oat milk,
sige, ganahan ko na oat milk. Sige, kung I like ice and then oat milk.
for oat milk, we recommend you a latte, or
Mm.
for example for non-lactose intolerant people, I usually introduce the cold white immediately because it's one of their best sellers.
Ooh, okay.
So
Sige. At least when I go to one good cup, I'm gonna have what's that?
cold
Uh,
white coffee,
I'm
it's
gonna
coffee
have a
with milk, yeah, in a bottle.
sige. I'm gonna have. Do you guys have that one? If mo stay ko ba? Do you
Yeah,
still serve it in the bottle or kanang cup? I
yeah,
wanna
still
feel like,
bottle. Yeah, but
oh, oh, okay. I thought like you put it like in a glass or something.
uh, I just provide you ice with that drink.
Okay, at least sige. I'll try that one, and maybe that will be my coffee. Because
Yeah.
as in like for real, I don't have like oh, what's your go-to coffee? Wala ko matubag. Wala jud ko'y matubag.
Yeah.
Okay, go to breakfast, I would always have 2 eggs, kimchi fried rice, spam, my go-to. Lunch,
Ah,
my lunch, sinigang na baboy. Lunch,
mm,
with hot
grabe.
rice. Uh, that's kuan. Maybe I think sa coffee lang guro. I don't feel that kind of thing when I go to really edgy, high end or like kuan restaurants or bars. I don't
Mm-mm.
know, hindi naman ko kuan. Even if I'm not that educated to kuan to drinks, to meals or to a certain cuisine, but there's something about coffee. Maybe because I don't know. I'm not sure. But I had a bad experience with coffee.
Mm.
Uh,
But
I
taste is subjective. But
oh
like
yeah,
in in our employees, we have different. We
preferences.
don't have the same coffee preference in which bag. Or,
Mm,
a barista like this bag, another one like this. So we usually experiment on how
mm.
to let
Right.
others go on.
And that's
So
good, man. That's good to spark something new, to temper and find what
yeah,
works. Different na kung kuwan, different philosophies na like coffee should be like this.
yeah,
Like that could be problematic, you know. But yeah, no, I just want to share this quick story again. I asked the coffee barista na kuwan uh abaka ni, abaka. Abaka, if you're hearing this, I don't care. If you want to sponsor this, that's fine too. I love you guys. But kuan, in order ko, and then I was like, oh, kuan, sana, what do you guys, kanang say you prefer? Like, oh, uh, what do you guys recommend? I mean, and then recommend sila something. It
mm-mm.
was I wanted iced. Then inom ko. O jud ako nahuman, suka lagi ko. Suka
Yeah,
jud
man.
kayo. Suka. As in like
Are
and
you lactose intolerant or
no,
something?
wala siya'y kuan, wala siya'y milk. And I've been drinking 3-in-1 so dili maingon na naka-try na kog 3-in-1 Kopiko na kalang grabe kaayo. But again, with my exposure to specialty coffees, not that much, or I don't
Mm.
even I think that Abaca is like commercial-ish, but I always like it with karang kuan lang, like milk and the typical kuan lang ba, the
Yeah, it's good.
casual drinker lang ba, ana
Yeah,
lang. Oh, like
like
wala ako
before,
nahuman lagi, as in
back when I was worked as a barista at Bose, I usually drink um um the leftover from the coffee machine. Like we're
oh,
closing,
ano lang, like that.
I just take the the leftover coffee from the drip machine. So that will give me the that will help me sleep because the coffee helps me sleep. So
Really?
yeah,
Hmm.
it's opposite, but it somehow helps me sleep. Um,
Maka-relax.
uh, yeah.
Siguro, oo. Like nga na like ako mura to ang exposure I would drink kanang vending machine coffee, 3-in-1, kopi ko I drink Starbucks, order ko americano, ano nga na, but
Mm-mm.
as in order ko, as in iced coffee. I don't know what it's called, but one ako no
My
lagi
favorite iced coffee was from McDonald's.
I like
That's my
McCafe.
go-to coffee.
Ganahan sad ko
College days,
oo.
McDonald's, like
Oo,
anything.
ganahan kay ko. And, as in like kuwan, wala ko
If
half
vending sa San Jose kay dito sa katong
oh, 'tong vending
katong
machine.
Mokka kato.
Oo. Half, as in half ra kuhaan ako, suka na nako. Then grabe yung
Mm,
palpitate akong kuhaan heart ato. I don't know if siguro wala lang kaya sa akong body but isuka lagi ko. And then siguro tungod ato like
there are people na kanang dili kayo inana ka accepting to caffeine or lahi og
mm,
react ang body sa caffeine but maybe sa kuan. So the only thing advice ko kanang more casual
nahinayon.
sa mga customers, we
Mhm,
usually they usually ask if it's strong or how strong it is because we should Arabica tends to be uh, lesser caffeine than Robusta.
mhm.
So the only thing that we share about them is to drink water to somehow dilute the coffee inside your
Mm,
body or your
water.
system. Just
Okay.
drink water because
Siguro I'll do that, you know, because I'm not a coffee drinker.
that's
Siguro.
the only thing that we always say to the customers that are not that they are not that open to coffee, so they're just starting to coffee, like coffee in general.
Okay, I'll definitely do that. Like drink probably water. Like you saying, like I don't want to experience that again. Suka ako because of coffee. I thought I was like dying, you know. As in,
Mm,
kay dili masukan and that's it. As in, like I don't know, my body was like it was my heartbeat was beating so fast, and then
so, did
and
you have food before it?
yeah, oh. Kasi like on nag-lunch ko, then iniinom ko coffee daw mga 4 o'clock-ish.
Mm.
Ano ba? So, mag-dinner na, pero at ikaw tog lunch. Ano ba? And then, oh my God, it was horrible. And if ever people would ask me, oh, what kind of coffee would you like? And then kanang corner ba, ko Dunkin' Donuts.
Ah, Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts, iced coffee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Dunkin' Donuts versus McDo here.
Oo, ganahan jud kay ko. I don't know. I ganahan kog coffee sa McDo, but now I like Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Do you
Mm.
guys still do that? Like, do you still you as a Guana barista, do you still like look for it? Like like
Yeah,
more ganahan ko mag
some of
Dunkin' Donuts nga naman.
some
Oh.
of the brands are still looking for that acquired taste we had for McDo. And I
Oh.
personally like McDonald's. Like every now and then, like whenever we had grab food in
Mhm,
McDo, I usually order um, iced coffee with the same one that I love. It's more of um, the memory that goes with it. Like
mhm,
how did I end up liking coffee that much? And yeah, it's it's still we're still I personally still drink coffees that are not specialty.
mhm. That's good, you know? I will like yeah, even if I eat like A5 Wagyu steak, you would still want to have I don't know, a Jollibee fried chicken every now and then.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, wala, okay, it's still pretty good. Ano. Um, I, being a barista, no, is it a career path in the Philippines, but na something would be fruitful monetarily, or is it something that you mo kuan jud ka like kuan lang jud because you're
Mm,
really passionate? Like, can you live? Can you have a house? Can you, feed your wife and kids with being a barista?
it depends on the company that you're in because I worked before in a commercial setup and it's just minimum wage or until
Mm,
you improve your skills or you had an excellent performance, you'll be promoted to such position.
yeah,
And
but kanang kuan lang, like for example, like high-end restaurants, they have chefs.
mm,
Chefs in those restaurants, I assume, they give a lot of money. And
mm,
so let's take that to coffee shops now, like very prestigious, very expensive coffee and all that. And you're a barista there. Is it
I
the
don't
same?
think it can buy a house, but it can sustain. Yeah,
Oh, okay. At least, like,
yeah.
okay,
Let's say
gana
it
ba,
should
diba?
buy the
Okay,
month
okay.
bills and
Mm,
without having so much liabilities.
okay, like you're like the chef, quote unquote. Like you're if you're a chef in a five-star restaurant, you're like the chef. You're like more equivalent on that. Like you are the top person in a coffee place. Like
Yeah.
again, I don't know if that's the right comparison. I was just curious, because what if I really want to be a barista and then that's all the thing that I want to do. Can I live that way? I'm pretty sure in other countries, siguro nga na.
Yeah.
Maybe like in Singapore or wherever, like if grabbing coffee culture siguro, no? Like
Mm-mm.
they
I
really pay a
visited
lot.
Singapore and they had a lot of Filipinos there.
Mhm.
Um, Usually they were from the Philippines that just migrated. So for me, coffee is still unappreciated here in the Philippines.
Mhm.
Especially those um, there are there are new comers
Mhm.
to the specialty or the coffee industry itself. So I just hope and believe that it will grow. And as much as we want coffee drinkers to grow, we also want the coffee farmers to prosper as well, because it's all about the balance. Like as the farmers are appreciated, the more people will appreciate coffee more,
Mhm.
and the quality of it arises as we compete globally.
Mhm. And ang pag-amping lang jud ba, like just taking care of our farmers
Mm-mm-mm.
is it will go so much more.
Yeah.
And again, I want to talk about that, like with the situation of our farmers
Mm.
and all that. I'm really really curious. Maybe in that aspect, when it comes to coffee, I am really intrigued by it because coffee, if we think of it as just a simple bean, but man, it's a billion-dollar business all
Mm-mm.
over the world. And again, I mentioned this coffee culture because of the love of coffee. People have colonized countries because of coffee. You
Mm-mm.
know, back in like the
Yeah.
old days, that's why
Yeah.
there's the Dutch East Dutch companies in Java in Indonesia,
Mm-mm.
tapos coffee in Africa. This people really want their coffee, and it's really interesting. And siguro and kana sa na part no na interested ko jud sa growth for third wave coffee and how do we bridge the gap. And
Mm.
I
So
can say you guys are doing it. You guys are doing the job of filling in the gap for people who are want to know more about coffee, but they can't. More, it's either whatever reason they may be intimidated ba sila, or
mm,
they think like it's really really expensive. Maybe it could be it. Maybe it is expensive at times. Because
yeah.
these are premium coffee beans, and you have to pay the right price. But for people who really like coffee, they're gonna palit sila ng
So
sapatos. Mga ganyan.
the third way coffee are specializes on how coffee was from the farm to the cup, like the process involved. Um, I think every specialty coffee shop are transparent of that, like how you have experience in Manila, like
I
they're
love
giving
that.
cards
Running
of
card.
or yeah, because it matters. The traceability of the coffee matters because you know how the coffee was made or how it was being handled by the farmers, from the farmers to the producers to the baristas. Like it's always a process, or it's always a cycle, and how the quality changes from farm to cup.
That's beautiful, man. That's a beautiful concept, knowing the farmers, knowing how
Mm-mm,
how they did it, where it comes from, and now it's on your cup. It's
mm-mm.
There's a deep appreciation, just like farm to table concepts with restaurants.
Food, yeah.
Ingana asad na siya, and I love that aspect. I love that aspect of third wave coffee. I love
Mm-mm,
the education part of it. um and whatever it is, like, and everyone has their own spin on it.
yeah.
Ganun ako sa inyo. And then I've encountered a lot. I went to to different, again, I mentioned it before. My wife is she loves coffee too, really interested. She went to different coffee spots too in the south of Manila.
Mm-mm.
Magnum Opus, my the curator,
Not really.
mm-mm, yeah, and all I forgot, but yeah, everyone has their own take on it. But you
Yeah.
guys really intrigued because maybe me being a teacher and Kwan just letting them the service of for people of letting them do their own type of home brewing. It's a superb job and it's really good. And you're not just like serving coffee, you're educating, letting them do it by themselves.
Mm-mm.
Really, really interesting, man.
But
And it's super good.
coffee is just uh coffee is like is very complex because
Hmm.
a coffee um changes its coffee is based on how you cooked it, like how it was roasted,
Hmm.
and it will be improved more on how you brew it. So it's basically a work of a farmer, a producer, a roaster, and a barista. So as every process, the coffee may be improved, and it's it's the key people there with the right skill set and how to further improve what is in the coffee already.
And I assume there's still much to learn, I guess, when it comes
Yeah.
to coffee. I'm pretty sure you guys, Geo has a lot of knowledge of coffee, but I'm pretty sure there's still more to discover.
Mm-mm-mm.
And again, this is
I
just
have
my
friends who are into the science stuff already. Like
mm,
they craft their own water to their brew, like how how to highlight the sweetness or the acidity. And I'm open to learn from it because, as I have said earlier, the Cebu community is always helping each other out
mm-hmm.
to how to improve a coffee. Like we always share recipes on how to brew this. Even though even though we have different coffees from different roasters, we usually have this. We also have a standard, and we share recipes with each other.
That's awesome, man. At least like you're elevating the level of quality. Dili like amo ra ni, you know. Bala mo diya. You know, that's a good um um take on camaraderie and elevating the coffee scene in Cebu.
Just
And
like we used to, that coffee brings people together,
mm,
sparks conversation.
for
That's what I
sure.
love about it.
Yes, that's why there's a lot of deals are made in coffee shops. A lot of dates are done in coffee shops, and sadly, a lot of heartbreaks are also done in coffee shops.
I
You
have
know.
witnessed one.
Oh,
In
really?
Green
Nagbuwag sila or nagkuhan?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. What's a juicy gossip though? Like last part, like not okay, like juicy like
Yeah,
gossip
it's
na nakuha
confidential,
niyo.
but and I have seen one. I
Okay,
have seen
okay.
those two.
All right. Thank you so much, man. Sorry. Thank you so much, man, for sharing your thoughts and your insight of that's just a little snippet,
Yeah,
of the knowledge of coffee that you have.
yeah,
Thank you, Kayo. Bye. Anything else that you want to say before we go?
yeah. I'm just happy to share um my my journey into coffee, as I aspire to be a better brewer someday. And thank you for this opportunity to help educate or give people uh, a, a little knowledge about coffee and how it still revolves around people and
Mhm.
conversations, and in every and is open to every box of life.
Yes, and I just assume that's just hopefully I'm contributing something. And these stories from all over the world,
Mm.
baristas, chefs, people kanang magtatindag kuan kanang quick sa gawas. These stories are very very important, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And this is just
We
my
all have
way of
something to share.
contributing. Everything, everyone has something to share. Thank you, Kai Bai.
Thank
Okay.
you, Sid.